Hey, what is up, you sexy beasts? GhostSickness Tristan here, and I'm going to be telling you kind of a creepy and unsettling story. It's not the best in my opinion. This is a mix between subscriber stories and scary stories. It's not a new series, but one of my subscribers actually wrote me a scary story, so I really hope you guys do enjoy. You will not find this on the internet. You will find it on my channel only, so unless someone copies me somehow. I don't know. If someone rips my video, you let me know about it immediately. That'd be great. But either way, this story is not as creepy as I would like it to be. It could be a lot more scary. It could be a little bit longer, but it's a pretty short, scary, pretty short, creepy story that's kind of just packed with just a bunch of just unsettling stuff at the very end. So if you are into short, creepy stories, then this would be your episode. However, the next one is going to be a 30-minute long because the 22-minute long one was very well received. It's going to be like a 30-minute long video, and it's going to be fantastic. However, don't think this series is dying. I'm actually going to get right into this one. I hope you guys do enjoy. Please let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. As always, guys, I'm going to end on the story, so I'm going to get right into it. Hope you guys enjoy, and remember the fact that I love you. Okay, the boy said. You know what to do, right? Sean looked at the boy annoyed and asked, do I have to? The boy nodded his head. You picked dare, so here's the dare. Sean looked up the road, which directly led to a house that stood on top of the hill of their street. Sean thought back to how it came to this. It was the first time visiting his grandparents, and he was looking forward to spending the weekend with them since he had heard so many awesome things about them from his mother. Unfortunately, his grandparents weren't as exciting as he had hoped. They were very strict on him. No electronics, no junk food, no goofing off, they'd yell at him. But one rule that stuck out from the rest was, don't go in that house on top of the hill. He asked why, but he never got a response back. So, Sean spent time in his room looking through the window, watching other kids play. He wished he could go out there and play. Suddenly, he saw a boy standing across the street, looking directly at him. Sean ducked, and slowly lifted his head back up through the window again. Ah! Sean fell back at the sight of the boy standing in front of the window, grinning. He tapped at the window and mouthed the word, play? Sean stood approaching the window and opened it. He shook his head. I can't. My grandparents said I can't goof off. Who cares? You're gonna let some old geezer stop you from having fun while the other kids out here are playing? Come on. The boy pulled at Sean's arm, trying very hard to bring him outside. Sean wasn't sure if he should, but he saw it unfair that the other kids were playing and he wasn't. So he didn't resist being pulled outside. He even helped by lifting himself over the windowsill and onto the front lawn. Once outside, the boy introduced himself. Hi, my name is Jack. Sean said, my name is Sean. What do you want to do now that we're outside and we can play? They began to walk away from the house and up the hill. Jack thought for a moment, truth or dare? Sean wanted to seem cool in front of the boy, so he picked dare. I dare you to go to the house on the top of the hill and go inside the building, Jack said. Sean almost said he couldn't because his grandparents didn't want to, but he didn't want Jack to think he was lame, so he agreed. And there he was now, wondering if he should go into the house and forget playing or if he should take the dare. Right when he was about to say no, a familiar voice yelled, Sean, you little brat, where are you? Uh-oh. Go now, she won't suspect you of being in the house, go! Jack yelled at him. Sean had no choice. He'd rather be in a creepy house than forced to face his angry, strict grandparents. He raced his way up the hill, onto the lawn full of dying grass and blossoming weeds. He ran up the creaky steps that led to the splintered wooden porch. He noticed the windows were murky and grime-filled. Sean was sure this would make a great cover to hide his presence from others. He grabbed the doorknob and turned it. It was until Sean entered the house that he realized it would make a great cover for someone who was living inside the house as well. The inside was much different from the outside. Outside, it was dark and looked abandoned. The inside, it was full of color and lights. He had a more comfortable feeling inside the house, rather than outside the house. Sean, his grandmother, he slammed the door closed and locked it. Hello there, a voice said. Sean turned his head to face an elderly woman sitting on the couch drinking tea. Hi? The woman said, I'll fetch you a cup of tea. Sean was about to protest, but the woman was bringing it back to him already. She had sat down on the couch and gestured for him to sit next to her. Sean could tell that the woman wanted to ask him something, so he sat next to her. What are you here for? A story? She asked. No, I'm hiding from my grandparents, Sean told her. Ah, I see. So no questions or anything about this house? Sean paused and nodded. Why are my grandparents against me going into this house? The lady sipped her tea. Well now, how about you start drinking your tea and I'll tell you a story. Sean took a sip of his tea and leaned in close to hear the woman speak. It's not your grandparents who are against children from going into this house. The whole neighborhood is. And it's all my mother's fault. It started when I was a young child. My school was holding a bake sale and I wanted to bake a cake. I just didn't know how to, so I asked my mother for help. She agreed to help. I just needed to bring my friends over and then go to the store and buy some icing. I did so. Now at the time, my mother had lost her sense of sanity, but I didn't know that until I got back from the store with some icing. I entered the house, walked into the kitchen, and screamed. Blood was everywhere, on the floor, the ceiling, the walls, everywhere. My friends were nowhere to be seen. I suddenly heard the timer of the stove go off. I turned to the stove and watched as my mother pulled a cake out of the oven. It smelled rotten and putrid. My friends had been baked into the cake. I couldn't take it. I called the police. They took her to jail and placed me in a mental institution. The only reason I was placed there is because I became hysterical upon watching them take my mother away from me. Any kid would react the same way. Now, can you understand why young children fear this house and parents hate it? Sean stopped drinking his tea. I understand, but that's not fair. People shouldn't hate you for something you didn't do. Well, maybe I helped kill one. What? He asked as his face slumped into the seat. The woman stood from her seat. She called down the hall, "You can come in now." Jack comes walking down the hall, passing by framed newspaper articles reading, "Insane Child Helps Mother Kill Friends," and "Insane Child Escapes Mental Institution," while holding an axe. He stands next to the woman and hands her the axe. "Good idea poisoning the tea. You're such a good grandson. We're having cake tonight."